ワトキンスのゴールと守備陣の堅実な対応が光り、終盤のケパのスーパーセーブも大きかったですね。ヴィラの勢いが続くか注目です。プレミアリーグの最新情報を世界各国のメディアからいち早くお届けするプレミアリーグラボ、プレラボです。詳しく解説している番組がありましたので、そちらの翻訳をお届けいたします。それではご覧ください。ぜひチャンネル登録、高評価よろしくお願いします。
The final Saturday of the Premier League season, 5 games on the way. Ashley Williams and Shay Given have an eye on Europe, not to book their holidays, I hasten to add. Shall we go through the permutations? The top 5 earn a place in the Champions League. The winner of the Europa League final between Manchester United and Tottenham will also qualify. The 2 Europa League places go to 6th place and the FA Cup winners. But if Manchester City win the FA Cup and finish in the top 6, then the team in 7th will take the Europa League spot. If Crystal Palace win the FA Cup, they'll be in the Europa League. The Conference League spot is held by Newcastle for winning the League Cup, but if Eddie Howe's team finish in the top 6, the Conference League place goes to the highest placed team that hasn't reached Europe, which could be one of 4 teams chasing 8th if Manchester City win the FA Cup. If Chelsea finish outside the top 6 and win the Conference League, there'll be 3 Europa League places and no Conference League slot. I'll just run through that again. No, I won't. We begin with 2 teams who still have European ambitions. Aston Villa's target was the Champions League. Bournemouth were chasing 8th place. Jonathan Pearce was at the Vitality Stadium.
It's been a terrific season for you. You've got a record number of points in the Premier League. How much of a pity will it be if you don't have anything concrete to show for it at the end?
It's very difficult to get Europe. You have to be really, really good. We saw against Villa today, how they manage the small things, the moments of the games, and we have to continue. We don't know where we are going to finish, but we have to finish it, the best we can.
You move ahead now, Gabby Abonahor. You're the outright Premier League top scorer in the history of Aston Villa.
I said from the start when I joined the club that's what I had my eyes on. Obviously, it's taken a while to do it, and it's a big achievement. So, really good day.
You're in Europe, you know that now again, but how massive was this for the Champions League top 5 places?
Yes, it's the best. It's the best competition in the world. And through Premier League is very difficult because there are another team really competing very well and being contended, and they have more points than us. We are going to fight for it, but the first objective clearly is to play in Europe again, and we achieved it today. How we compete, how we defend, how we get the commitment everybody to do the big effort like we were planning before. I think I am so proud of them.
Yeah, they didn't have it all their own way, but it was a vital win for Aston Villa. Amadou Onana came in for Tielemans, and he did a really good job.
Yeah, I was really impressed with him from the start today. As you say, he came in for Tielemans, and it was a really strong, powerful defensive centre midfield performance from him. As a centre-back myself, it's exactly what you want in front of you. He's just breaking up play, and then he has the ability, so this is early on in the game, to drive, and this is such a relief if you're his teammate, that he can drive your team up the pitch and start off an attack. That one doesn't come to anything. But you see him here in the correct position, breaks up play, and then he's also got the composure to do this. Little step over, and he's gone again. Wins his team a foul in a really tight game. What he does, he just sits in the middle of the pitch. He did that all game, just starting off attacks, breaking up play for Aston Villa. This actually ends up with a chance for Kamara at the back stick. Great save from Kepa, and then another double save, which was brilliant in itself. Big and strong on corners, which is what they needed. Bournemouth had numerous corners, and he was always there. And then this is brilliant centre midfield play, just mopping up. You can see his defenders applauding his positioning there. I thought he was brilliant from the off in a really massive game for Villa as well. Big win, big performance coming in for Tielemans. You can see here he ranks high. He ranks first for Villa in a lot of categories. He had a really, really strong performance today.
Yeah, certainly did. Huge goal too for Ollie Watkins. Well, not just for the team, but for him personally as well.
Yeah, obviously broke Gabby Agbonlahor's record at Aston Villa. It's a brilliant goal. It's an important goal, as you say as well, Gary. The Champions League race is what it's all about for Aston Villa. Great press from Aston Villa, high up the pitch. See Cash here. He's all over Semenya. And then can Rodgers deliver the cross too? Ready can. He's had a brilliant season as well. But every good striker, Gary, you'll tell me better than anyone, gets across the centre half, and it's a fantastic touch from Watkins. You just see a little nick here and gives Kepa absolutely no chance at all. It's a brilliant finish inside the post there. What a finish from him. As you say, it's a big goal on a personal level, but a big goal for Aston Villa as well.
Of course, and there's confirmation there.
And then you look at the games as well, Gary. 182 games, yeah. There's some big names on there, yeah.
And Dion Dublin.
Dion Dublin, yeah.
Sorry, Dion, just kidding. 95th minute at the other end. Bournemouth pushed, didn't they? But it looked like they'd equalised. But for a great piece of goalkeeping from Martinez, backed up by Cash.
They do. Well, goal scorers get all the credit, don't they? But sometimes the goalkeeper comes up trumps. And you say, Guy, 95th minute, both Emi Martinez, you see him celebrating, but let's not forget Cash at the back. That's a fantastic save. And I love that from defending as well. Brilliant save from Emi Martinez. Watch this. Never give up, Gary, as a defender. Go all the way. 95th minute. That's as good as saving your team 2 points as much as Watkins' goal. Brilliant clearance from Cash.
Yeah, certainly was. And Bournemouth have confirmed tonight that Alex Scott has fractured his jaw. The midfielder was substituted at half-time. He had a collision, didn't he, with Tyrone Mings? And, well, let's say that Emery's not happy. He says the elbow was very, very violent. What do you think, Ashley? You start.
Yeah, I think it's the height difference in this. I think we're going to see from the other angle that Tyrone Mings does have a little look to see where the pressure's coming from. Just about there. So he knows he's under pressure and he puts his arm out to protect the ball. Unfortunately, it hits him in the jaw. And obviously that's a nasty collision. I don't think he means it. We'll never. Only Tyrone Mings knows if he means that.
Yeah, I mean, Iraola obviously saying he's moved the elbow. I'm not sure he's actually moved the elbow towards him. He's just put his arm out.
It seems like he's trying to protect the ball.
And also Scott's running it quite hard. You think it was a bad one, don't you?
I kind of disagree a little bit. I think he knows what he's doing. Ash is right. He does have a look at him, and he straight arms. I know he doesn't swing the elbow, but he straight arms him across the jaw. And as you say, a fractured jaw for Alex Scott. He had to go off at half-time. It's a nasty one.
Well, either way, let's hope he recovers quickly. Pep Guardiola said yesterday it's been the toughest season of his managerial career. Manchester City could still finish second and win the FA Cup. If that's tough, imagine being a Southampton fan. The two sides met at St Mary's. Simon Brotherton was watching.
Going into the game, I think it was really important. I want to be clear, and I wanted to be clear with everyone that, we're fighting for an immense amount of pride, for the football club in general, and we wanted to aspire this to be as strong as possible towards the end of the season and put in the best possible performances, and we've done that today in an abundance, so I think we can be really pleased with that, and nice to see the supporters enjoy that.
It was difficult. 11 players in penalty spot. First half we did a little bit of creativity for the sides. We didn't play with the wingers. Second half was better. And we had our chances, but unfortunately we could not have scored. A team like it's relegated and play to defend and waste time, and we missed to take the rhythm.
It's frustrating to play a team like them. They don't even try to play. They're just wasting time the whole game. I don't even feel like they want to play the game or win the game. They're just sitting around. But it is what it is.
We're not happy at all of how the season's gone, but we're definitely happy the fact that we've managed to avoid that record. We're certainly under no illusion that it's still not a great points tally, but it's that one off our back. The fans are obviously very happy, in the sun, smiling.
As Aaron says there, Southampton have avoided the ignominy of the lowest points tally in Premier League history. That still is Derby's pleasure. Southampton, though, tweeted the following: "Sorry if we got your hopes up, Derby," which is slightly cheeky. Ruben Diaz wasn't exactly complimentary about Shea about the way that Southampton approached the game, but they needed that point. I mean, if they'd gone gung-ho, they would have lost one. It's up to City to break them down.
It is, and especially you've conceded 82 goals in the Premier League this season, which is horrendous. Obviously, that's why they had 11 points before the start of today's proceedings. So for Southampton, this is the heat map. This is where most of the game took place. We'll show you a couple of examples, Gary, of how Southampton set up. They're really compact in the middle, of course. They tried to send them wide and send them back. They left them space on the wings and left Diaz and Akanji have plenty of the ball. But if you look at the Southampton players, they're all so compact in the middle, forcing them back and frustrating them. And I take Diaz's point, but at the same time, when you're lacking confidence, when you're down there conceding too many goals, this will give them some sort of a boost in a sense. We've kept out the champions, we've kept it tight at the back. As I say, then they give up space. They play with no wingers first half. Guardiola down the left, and again, look at the many Southampton bodies around the box, getting to the ball, getting tight. picking up in the box, getting just there's no room, Gary. You could stick a blanket nearly around the whole Southampton team, but it's up, as you say, Gary, it's up to Man City to break them down. Again, Down steps out onto Diaz, forcing them back, getting them up the pitch. Yes, they didn't leave the 18-yard box too much during the game, but again, they were quite happy to let City have the ball. And then when they did cross it, again, watch this Guardiola around the back, and look at how many bodies in the box when Haaland's there. What, 6 Southampton players and 1 in a dangerous goal scoring area. It's not good enough. You've got to commit bodies into the box if you want to score a goal. Again, second half, probably very much the same, really. Foden mishits a shot. Again, Silva, bodies on the line, getting blocks on, getting their bodies away, clearing it, squeezing the box again. I mean, we could have copied and pasted, no joking, 10, 15 times. It was the same the whole game. Again, this comes to Silva. Watch this for a clearance off Jack Stevens off the line. I love that as a defender, as a ex-goalkeeper. Never give it up. Defend the goal for your life.
I bet you did.
Nice to see Haaland back as well today. He's been out for 7 weeks, of course. FA Cup next week. And look at this, Wellington getting himself back. Wellington just getting his boot to that. Brilliant clearance from... But watch this, brilliant defend, because he could have given that up. Look, he just gets the touch, takes it away from Riley for a tap-in for him. And again, the frustrating thing for me is maybe from a Guardiola point of view, could he made the subs clear or sort of sooner in the game, perhaps, This time a bit of communications between Kovacic and Savinho. If Kovacic gives him a shout, he comes on to that and has an easier chance. And this is really into the last kickings of the game. Look, Marmoush in the picture comes in the shot. Marmoush came on in the 85th minute, Gary, and probably done more in 5 minutes than sort of most of the other team. I just think it's frustrating from a Manchester City point of view that they could have done more. Yes, it's frustrating, and Diaz and Guardiola are unhappy after the game, but I think they could have done more to break them down.
It's interesting, isn't it? For the 6 games where Manchester City have had the most shots without scoring, 3 of them were against Southampton. Bit of a bogey side in that sense. It was the first game back, as Shay said, for Haaland after a few weeks. How do you think he looked? Because the cup final coming up next week.
Yeah, I think it was a frustrating afternoon for him. Disappointed, really. I think he'll be, and with the service as well. You see straight away, that's a great run in between the centre backs. That ball's got to go into him early. He lives on balls like that, and it's not come. You can see he has to readjust and try and get around the back stick. He looked hungry. He looked like he wanted the ball. This is off a corner. Obviously, puts it back into a dangerous area. No one really there at the end of it. Here, you see his positioning. That's brilliant from a centre forward. He's in between the 2 centre backs again. Yeah. He wants the ball earlier. He needs the service. In the end, when he gets it, he can't really do anything with that. The quality's not there for him, so there's not much you can do. Here, this is good defending, I think. As Shay's just pointed out from Southampton, he has to reset and start again back to Kovacic. And it was like that all afternoon for him. This time, they get a little bit of a break, and then you see his speed and his power. That's what we're used to seeing. Just when you need to slide him in, just put the ball in the area and he'll tap it away. Bad pass from Doku behind him. He can't do nothing. He punches the crossbar in frustration.
Sharp there, though, ready for the cup final.
Yeah, he looks sharp, but I think so if that ball goes in the first run from Foden, I think he probably scores that goal because he needs. He's only as good as the service he's got.
Yeah, it's tightening up. If you can see there, City were 65, and then if Newcastle and Chelsea draw tomorrow, they go to 64. If Forest beat Leicester, which is likely, they'll go to 64. Villa on 62. I mean, it's incredibly tight now, isn't it?
I mean, the big game, as you mentioned there, Gary, Newcastle, Chelsea, 12 o'clock tomorrow. If Newcastle with home advantage can get that, then it gives them a huge lift going into the last couple of games. But
last game of the season.
It's so tight, isn't it?
Yeah, Forest, Chelsea, that could decide things. Fulham still harboured hopes of a Europa Conference League place. Everton have won just one of their last 10 since moving clear of the relegation places. Steve Bauer was at Craven Cottage.
David, well done. That was some turnaround. Terrific 3 points.
It was. It didn't look that way after the first 20, 25 minutes. I could say that. I thought we were terrible on the ball and gave the ball away. And actually, maybe on another day, if they'd get another goal, it would have made it really difficult for us. But look, we stuck at it. We're a resilient crew here, and the players done a really good job in the end.
The main things in football that is about focus and concentration. You cannot lose, and we lost the last few games, and we have to react. The week is going to be important for us to see, to analyze, and to work with the players, because it will come to big games for us.
I want to keep getting better and better, playing better, holding the ball better, passing better, scoring more goals. And I feel that as long as I'm playing, I've kept myself improving, and I'm really pleased.
He's done great. I was just saying, if he was a 19-year-old striker, you'd be saying, hey, he's got a bit to go and he's going to keep going. he's not quite 19, but he's certainly improving. That's what he is doing, and he's given us something since we've come in. Goals, you know. And like I said a few weeks ago, I hope that if he could get 10, I would think it would be a great achievement for him at the moment.
We saw a VAR decision at the end there, with the referee have a good look, take his time, and stick with his on-field decision.
But isn't it great that we get someone who makes a decision and sticks with it because he thinks it was correct, and he's had a chance to go and see the screen and still chose to make the correct decision. I want referees to go by their own decisions at the right time, but I do think that from what I've seen, I think it was the correct decision and the correct call. I'm more disappointed VAR called him now to the screen in the first place.
We'll come to that. Beto scored again today, didn't he, Ashley? Lots of talk of changes at Everton coming up this summer. Can you see him leading the line next season?
No, I think David Moyes will want somebody else, but I think he's a very, very good second option. He's proved that since David Moyes has come in. He works so hard for the team, and his movement is actually quite good, as you see here. That's a good run, just off his defender. And then he tries to play in the opposite wide man. Here again, that's a good run in between the centre halves down into the channel. He does that ever so well. And then now he's trying to find somebody in the box. And he does this all game for his team. And that's what you want from your striker, just making that in-to-out run, which is difficult to mark. Centre-backs don't want to go out there. Sometimes, yes, he lacks a little bit of quality with his end product. But here you see him picking up the ball on the halfway line, holding it up, which he's very good at, which is, if you've got someone at the front that can do that, it's always good for your team. Gets his shot away early. I think, as we see it, Bernd Leno will be disappointed share with that. He should have done better. But with Beto, I think he's been brilliant since David Moyes has come in. They needed someone who was powerful and strong up front. You see, he's amongst good company here in the graphic that we're showing you. He only had one goal before David Moyes come in, so he's done really well.
Yeah, he's certainly found something, isn't it? Once again, Jordan Pickford played an important part. He's a very consistent goalkeeper, isn't he, Shady?
I think that's a sign of a good goalkeeper. Least amount of mistakes. Sort of does what it says in the tin, makes big saves in important moments. Him and Wilson had a bit of a 1v1 today in a sense. They were a battle all afternoon. This is a brilliant save. Wilson reversed it into the sort of near post. Takes a little deflection on the way through as well, Gary. And that's a brilliant save around the post. This save is probably more basic, but he does see it a wee bit late from Sessegnon. And the good thing about this save, he managed to shovel it away from danger. See keepers parrying into the danger zone. He bangs it away with his left hand.
Has he improved that song?
I think it has, because sometimes you see keepers that say coming away from it and going into the body, but this is a brilliant save. This is probably the pick of the bunch, actually. And the reason it's there, he's probably made the wrong decision to come through there. He realises then he's coming in no man's land, so he has to move his feet so quick and get back in to get that away. Watch this brilliant effort from Harry Wilson, and look at that for a save. That's the pick of the bunch at the end.
The Pickford of the bunch.
Oh, I like that. Great save.
Good stuff. An unusual occurrence. He mentioned that David Moyes was delighted by it, and as well he would be. Referee Darren England went to the screen and didn't actually change his decision. First time I think this season, just about that's happened.
It is quite refreshing, because we were watching obviously the games this afternoon, and we said that's very harsh. Michael Echo's running back into position. We say when defenders put their hands behind their back, it's not natural. He's just running into position.
He's trying to get his hand out.
Michael Salisbury calls him over to the VAR, and David Moyes, I love David Moyes' reaction. He's clapping him as well. But great credit to Darren England. He said, no, it's not a penalty, and for me, it's the right decision.
Yeah, agreed.
I think today Ipswich were making it very difficult for us. I knew they would come with everything, and they definitely went for it. I think the way we started the game, the first 10, very happy with that. We'd coming out there, let's get on top of this game. I think we controlled and dominated the first half, got 1-0 up. The second half was a little bit more hectic. I would love us to control a little bit more. We didn't, and then the last 5, they got a big chance where Mark needs to save, or pull a big save out, but I think in the end it was a fair win.
A set play goal at this level can be, especially the first goal, can be really decisive, and it was today.
And did it make a difference the way it came about? I don't know if that affected concentration at all.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think that the VAR was a problem in the game, to be honest, and the usage of it was a problem in the game, as it has been plenty of times. But that's not my main concern now. But it was certainly a frustrating period in the build-up to the goal, and there was a few other ones like it.
Yeah, perfect for us. The gaffer said before it could be that we win over the set pieces, and we did.
Strange situation though around that set piece, because I think it took more than 3 minutes eventually for that corner to come in.
Yeah, I think every corner was a bit like foul or not. I don't know. I haven't seen anything, but we just stayed focused and tried to score.
Yes, indeed. Look at this, the away table since the turn of the year. Brentford are top of that. And the goal came from, well, we just saw him there, a player in great form, Shay.
Yeah, it's a brilliant goal. Well-worked set play. I think Keith Andrews is a set play coach of Brentford, deserves a mention. We look at Shadi, starts in the goalkeeper. No one's near him at any stage. We've got Morsi and Delap in the near post area, and the rest are going man for man. You see Morsi having a look if anybody's coming. But he doesn't see Shada. It's a brilliant movement for him and a fantastic header. We also look at O'Shea in the back post. Can he maybe stay in the back post, O'Shea, and possibly clear this? You know, he sort of there's no Brentford player in his area, but he gets sucked out of the goal. He sort of walks away from that post, but take nothing away from Shada's header. Look at the leap. Look at the hang time. That's a brilliant header, Gary. One you'd be proud of, I'm sure.
Proud of any of them. And look at this for a stat. Only 3 teams in Europe's top 5 leagues have got 3 players in double figures for league goals. Bayern, Barca and the Bees.
Wow.
Sounds like a band. There was a lot of holding going on. Kieran McKenna wasn't happy with the delays.
Yeah, it was every single corner. There's so much going on here. This is Greaves on Vandenberg. And as they're having, it's all over the place. Everyone's wrestling. Now, this one for me would be a penalty, but it's before the players restarted, so it actually doesn't count anyway. You can see that he's all over him. He's pulled him down, but the official line is that the ball hadn't entered the pitch anyway at that point. Now, this one is a penalty. I don't understand how that's not given, because Tuanzebe is all over Collins. It just wrestles him to the floor. Like that's a stonewall penalty. Yeah, that's. Like, listen, I'm all for defending close to your man, but that's a little bit too much, I think. He's just dragged him down. So that's that one. This is Yarmulke on Greaves. I don't think that this one's a penalty. This is just both of them have got hold of each other. Here we see they've both got hold of each other. That's not enough for me. But it was every set piece, every corner.
We're running out of time, chaps. Let's get the league table for you. Manchester City missed the chance to go level on points with second place Arsenal after their 0-0 draw at Southampton. A 7th win in 8 for Aston Villa keeps them firmly in the mix, while victories for Brentford and Brighton strengthened their dreams of European football. Southampton can no longer become the worst team in Premier League history after recording their 12th point. So after 26 years of Saturday nights, I think that was probably one of the worst. No offence, lads. Time to move on, I reckon. Goodbye.
ご視聴いただきありがとうございます。感想をコメントで聞かせてください。また、最後まで見ていただいた方は、チャンネル登録といいねを押して、教えていただけると嬉しいです。動画作りの励みになりますので、ぜひよろしくお願いいたします。これからもプレラボをよろしくお願いします。